I have never had a hiring manager say to me, Ben, I want you to find me someone who is not coachable. In fact, if you send me someone who demonstrates an ounce of coachability, I will not move them forward in the process. I hate coachable people, and I hate people who demonstrate the ability to learn. That never happens because generally speaking, hiring managers value that. But how do you as a candidate demonstrate your coachability or your ability to learn? It's actually not that hard, and I'm gonna show you how to do it in this video. Let's go. Hi, my name is Ben White with Ben Talks Talent. I've got 10 years experience in recruiting and hiring and team building, and I am passionate about helping you become the best candidate you can and land your next job. Before we get started, do me a favor. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I produce 2 to 3 videos every single week, and you subscribing there motivates me to continue doing it. So please do it. All right, so today I'm gonna talk about coachability. Being coachable always matters. It's valuable. Nobody wants someone who has no desire to learn, no desire to expand their knowledge base, and with the world constantly changing and changing faster than it ever has, exponentially, it's only going to become more important. So, as you sit in your next interview, your upcoming interview, how do you show them that you are someone who wants to learn? How do you demonstrate that coachability? How do you show them that by hiring you, they are making a good decision because you are going to adapt to the changes in today's workforce and you are going to become a better version of yourself? It is actually not that hard. So the first thing I want to talk about is when, right? Like when does it make sense for you to do that? And there are a few times, besides always, that it makes sense. I always think it makes sense to do this, but there are a few times where it's paramount. So the first one is when you are brand new to your career. So if you are new to your career, if you are green, if you are a fresher, if you are someone who is a couple years in, no matter what you're going to be doing, there's probably a significant amount of learning that is going to take place. So demonstrating coachability or the ability to learn, the eagerness to learn is really important. The second thing is if you are interviewing for a role that represents a significant scope change, right? If you are taking a jump in your career in which you're going to be doing new things that are new to you, and it's going to require you to learn, to adapt, it's also really important, to show your coachability. And the third time is if you are making a career change, right? If you are going from sales to, a complete, like accounting, very different. But that's just an example, but any career switch, it is so important to show that you are the type of person who not only can learn, but is interested in learning and thrives on it. So I think there's always value in it. In any point in your career, there's going to be new technologies, there's going to be new systems, there are going to be new things that you're going to have to adapt to. But in these 3 specific instances, it's just crucial to show you have the propensity to learn. So now I want to talk about how you can go about doing this. We've talked about why and when, and the value that comes with being a person who is coachable, but how do you do it? So the first instance is if they ask you a behavioral interview question that is getting at the core of this, right? And this is what I call a layup scenario. If they ask you, Ben, can you give me an example of a time where you had to learn a new skill to be successful in your job, right? And I'm actually going to answer that interview question in tomorrow's interview question series. So stay tuned for that. But if they ask you this question, it's a layup. They've given you the perfect opportunity for you to say, great question. This is how. This is when I've done it in the past. So that's the first one, right? That is a clear opening for you to give an example of a time previously where you had to learn on the job, you had to acquire or learn a skill so that you could be effective at your new role. If they are asking you this question, just know it's a huge part of your job and it's going to be essential. So demonstrating that you've done it in the past is key. The next example that you want to look for is when they give you an open opportunity question, right? So this is one of those questions where they ask you to give an example, and this example could be a variety of things. If they say to you, Ben, tell me about your proudest career achievement. That basically means it's open season. You can answer however you want. You can talk about time you learned. You can talk about the time where you've made a big impact on an organization. You can quantify your impact. You can talk about a time where you clearly did, you did an action and it resulted in blank. There's so many different ways you can take it. But if you know you're one of those 3 scenarios we talked about, new to your career, increase in scope, or changing your career, this is a great opportunity to talk about a time you've successfully learned something on the job. So that is another opportunity in which is basically there for the taking. The final example that I want to talk about is when they go, Ben, tell me about a time when blank, right? So maybe it's tell me about a time when you had to work with a customer and they weren't happy, right? That's a behavioral interview question. And it's basically prompting you to give them a past experience. And you can look at it like, okay, well, I need to talk about my customer service experience here. Well, yeah, but it's also a great opportunity for you to insert a time when you had to learn and how you learning it was key to you helping that customer. If you are one of the three scenarios that we talked about at the beginning of this video, right? New to your career, increase in scope, or changing your career vertical or path or whatever it is, you need to seek out the opportunity to demonstrate that you are a good learner, right? Even if they don't prompt you, they may not prompt you, you might have to create that opportunity. And these behavioral interview questions that call on you to give an example of a past experience, it's a great opportunity for you not just to answer the question, but insert a learning experience in there. If I was you, I would look for the opportunity to do this multiple times in my interview to show them not only is Ben capable of doing blank, but he was also able to learn it on the job. He is someone who has shown coachability. Talk about how your manager or your mentor coached you an opportunity, and then that opportunity was provided to you and how you were able to apply the learnings. This is one of those things where it always makes sense to show you are coachable. And if they don't hand it to you, you need to take it. And this example, this question, any question like this, you don't have to wait for it. You can insert an opportunity where you were coachable. You can insert an example of a time where you had to learn. It's right there for the taking. So I would highly recommend, if you're one of those three scenarios above, you do that. So there you have it. That's how you demonstrate coachability or the ability to learn in an interview. I hope you found value here. Again, if you're new, please subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss one of my videos. Thank you for taking this time today. Good luck in your next interview. You've got this.